Democrats, every election cycle, they say, why can't we get North Carolina? But this was the big surprise when it flipped. Again, here, can we just do this for a second real quick? Let's go back up, sorry, my bad. I'm gonna come out of this and come back here. Remember that, 204,000.
204,000.
Let's go back to 2020, okay. Right? Let's go back to 2020. Okay, I just want to show you where we were. Let's go back to the beginning. This is 9 o'clock on election night.
Okay.
244,000. So we're at 10 o'clock now, we're at 10:15. Right, so Donald Trump was ahead by 244,000 votes in 2020. The next day, or midnight, as we turned, we're 2 hours away from that, an hour and 45, he was ahead by even more. He was ahead by 372,000 votes when Tuesday turned to Wednesday in 2020, right? And then at noon the next day, it was down to 101,000 votes because they were counting the mail-in ballots, and then it flipped to the vice president on Friday. Joe Biden flipped to him on Friday, and then on Saturday, when the election was called, it was at 7,200, and then in the end, when they were done with the count, it was the infamous 11,779. So Donald Trump has the same lead now, roughly, 10 or 20,000 votes, than he had in 2020. That does not mean Kamala Harris is going to win Georgia. It just means that she can. It just means that she can. It means that there's still math out there to do it, and we've lived through this before. 2024 will not be identical to 2020. States will count most votes faster. It's unlikely we're going to wait till Saturday. I say that with some hope as we go through.
But look at all the blue.
Yeah, right.
All those big bubbles.
The question is, with Donald Trump 204,000 votes ahead, it's a healthy lead, right? Especially in a state settled by 11,000 last time. So you look at that number and you say, oh, wow, Republicans, Donald Trump's going to win Georgia. Hang on. 81%. 20% of the vote is a lot of the vote, especially when what you're looking for, the votes that are outstanding, larger the circle if you're just joining us, the more live outstanding votes, the color of the circle, the way the votes inside those circles are coming in. So Jake, you can look at this and you could say, if you'd rather be Donald Trump, you'd be ahead, but there's plenty of opportunity for the vice president to make up that ground in battleground Georgia, Jake.
All right, John, we have some projections for you now. CNN can project that Kamala Harris will win the state of Colorado. Colorado, as expected, will go Democratic with its 10 electoral votes. CNN can also project that Donald Trump will be the winner of Mississippi. As expected, Mississippi and its 6 electoral votes go to the Republican. Let's bring in the electoral map right now. Donald Trump in the lead, 178 electoral votes. Kamala Harris has 91 electoral votes, 270 electoral votes. As always, needed to win. Let's take a look at the outstanding races right now. Arizona joins the map of key race alerts. Kamala Harris has 50% of the vote. Donald Trump has 49.2% of the vote. That is a 15,478 vote lead for Kamala Harris, with 49% of the estimated vote counted. Kamala Harris in Wisconsin, 49.9% of the vote. Donald Trump bringing up the rear, 48.5% of the vote. Kamala Harris with a 19,910 vote lead. That's with 43% of the estimated vote counted in Wisconsin. Pennsylvania, Donald Trump in the lead there now, 50.3% of the vote in Pennsylvania. Kamala Harris has 48.7% of the vote. Donald Trump with a 58,648 lead right now, with an estimated 51% of the vote in Pennsylvania. In Georgia, Donald Trump in the lead there, 51.8% of the vote. Kamala Harris, 47.2% of the vote. Donald Trump with a 204,640 vote lead. That's with 81% of the estimated vote in Georgia. In battleground Michigan, Kamala Harris in the lead, 51.1% of the vote. Donald Trump with 47% of the vote. Kamala Harris with a 43,317 That's with an estimated 19% of the vote in battleground Michigan. In battleground North Carolina, Donald Trump in the lead, 50.4% of the vote. Kamala Harris with 46.4% of the vote. Donald Trump with 253,752 more votes as of right now than Kamala Harris. That's with 72% of the estimated vote in. In New Mexico, Kamala Harris in the lead, 50.7% of the vote. Donald Trump with 47.6% of the vote. That means Harris has an 8,592 vote lead over Trump. That's with less than a third, 31% of the estimated vote in from New Mexico, still early in New Mexico. Kamala Harris takes the lead again in Virginia with 49.1% of the vote. Donald Trump with 49% of the vote. Kamala Harris with a 1,118 vote lead. That's with 68% of the estimated votes in from Virginia. John, what do you want to talk about? We have a changing map. We can talk about it all. We'll walk through. Let's just take a quick look at Virginia and what happened there. Right. So last time I was here in Fairfax, there's what happened. Last time I was in Fairfax, it was a much lower number. Now you get a big. This is the largest county in Virginia, with
20-minute drive from DC. Depending on traffic, it could be a 40-minute drive from DC. But it's a pretty 20-minute drive, at least this time of night, if you want to give it a try. And that's one of the things that happened there. You see these close-in suburbs. Alexandria, smaller, much smaller population center.
It's very narrow
If
leads.
you guys
Still
want to
come out,
see
it's a very, very narrow
you
lead.
know, I
Again,
exchange it
so
over
you're looking, this is a 10-point race for Joe Biden. So if you're seeing, even if Harris wins it, if it's closer, does that tell you you have a more competitive environment elsewhere? Or does it tell you Donald Trump's doing well in
I
one
can switch
state?
between
Sometimes there's
different
that as a
channels. You guys
Republican
want to see it
governor
live?
since the last presidential election. So you have to be careful about these things. So let's just see what's still out there. This margin's going to change. I mean,
Because
there's
every
some Republican
election-
votes down here, but there's plenty of opportunity for that tie,
Let's just switch it
slight
over.
Harris lead to turn into something else. It's the surprise of the night so far in terms of how close it is, but it's
You guys want to see Fox?
I want to come back to this. It's a fascinating story that's happening in Wisconsin, okay? So go ahead, Brett, with your question in Pennsylvania.
Lackawanna County, this is
Lackawanna County, you got it. Let me come back to current day, right? It's 2024, isn't it, guys?
Yeah, it
Yeah, I do believe, okay. So, I'm kidding. So this is Lackawanna, this is Scranton, okay? So she's got an edge, go ahead. She's got an edge of 51%.
the 2020 vote for that.
This, okay, I'm gonna do something here and you're gonna see a slide come out, all right? So you guys gotta remember these numbers, all right? Versus 2020, here is Biden's number. So she's about, you do the math, 2.5 points below what Biden did, but she's winning the county too in that Scranton. Can I just show you guys something that I think we need to pay attention to? This is Wisconsin. All right, so you got your Fox Insights going here, okay? We talked about Dane, we talked about Milwaukee. What about Green Bay? That's Brown County, all right? Right now, with 46% of the vote reported, in Brown County, which is Green Bay, Trump's up 3.6 points at this time of the night, okay? Take this off. We'll move down here to Outagamie, all right? He's up 1.8 points higher than he was 4 years ago. Take that off. This is Winnebago, right? Trump is up 1.3 points at this point in the vote, higher than he was 4 years ago. And, you know, when you're analyzing the state going into this election, those are three of the counties you're looking at where he's trying to, like, drive the numbers up. And he's able to do that. And so this is where we sit, you know, 0.5 point. And not for nothing, guys, but, sorry, come on back here. Not for nothing. But Robert Kennedy has racked up 8,000 votes in Wisconsin. And 2020 in Wisconsin, we'll get it here. Yeah, I got you. 20,682. Maybe it matters, guys, or maybe it doesn't, but it's just something to point out right now. When we come back, I'll take you to Michigan. Some things happening there as well, fascinating too. Back on over there.
That's something to keep an eye on.
The 31,000 votes you talked about, Laura, you think they're going to count in the morning? And that's in Milwaukee, right? Which
They're
is heavily-
reprocessing them. They've begun to reprocess them, but there's no indication as to when that's going to finish.
Because they had problems with the machine.
There was a problem with this on-off switching device on the machine or something. It's hard to understand what
Well,
it
can I ask
actually
you a
is.
question? You just gave me the latest numbers. I've been looking at the betting odd numbers that Brett was talking about. They have moved massively now
90%.
to Donald Trump. New York Times has it massively to Donald Trump.
91%.
Well, point that Jesse,
On the video.
right?
Yeah.
So we're really sitting here, and I think we got to take pause. There is a very strong possibility he will be elected the 47th president of the United States if these numbers, if these predictions end up being true. I don't want to get over our skis. We want to be careful. We want to be prudent. We're all looking at our sources. I'm listening very closely to everything Harold has to say and what he's offering. But if that is true, after all that they have thrown at this man, after all that they have done to this man, and with all the media that wouldn't even vet her and her radical positions, the only person in the media that challenged her in any reasonably tough way is sitting right here at this table, and that was you, Brett. And to think she never had to answer why she doesn't think we should say radical Islamic terrorism, why she wasn't asked about supporting a bail fund, 574 riots in the summer of 2024, or co-sponsoring the Green New Deal, or saying no private health insurance, Medicare for all, or sex change operations for, illegal immigrants. What will this say, Brett, about legacy media? in America. It's dead.
Well, it's, the decline of its influence has been evident
Okay,
for
good.
years. This is further proof of it. And in some respects, I think that the behavior of the